Hello and welcome. Today we have something a bit different for you. Instead of our regular car review videos, we've decided to invite a guest to discuss some interesting topics about the Chinese car market. The guest in question is the one and only Elliot Richards, another Chinese-based automotive reviewer.
Hello.
Hello, Elliot. Thank you for joining us.
Lovely to be here.
Elliot, okay, our topic for this video is which car from China's history would you most like to drive?
This is my favorite topic.
This is your favorite
topic.
topic.
So many answers. I can't wait.
I have been warned that Elliot has a lot of answers, so I'm actually going to go first.
You go first.
And I've prepared some pictures to give Elliot some context. We will, of course, be showing these on the screen for you guys. The car that I have chosen started life in 1991. I guarantee you've never heard of it. Started life in 1991. It's a product of FAW, that's First Auto Works here in China, and it was envisioned as being a true people's car. So FAW is the owner of the Hongqi brand, the red flag brand, which is considered the top of the line of Chinese-owned brands, right? This is the car that high-level politicians will ride in and everything. But the designers there said, hey, let's make a people's car, a Chinese Volkswagen, right? A Beetle. What they came up with, starting in 1991 and several years after they designed it and they came out with some other examples, went by several names. The first name, the prototype's name, was the Cycler, I believe.
I haven't heard of this.
No, you haven't. I guarantee it. The Cycler SKL 600.
Catchy name.
It is a very catchy name.
Hang on, SKL.
And I'm going to show Elliot a picture of it now. That is the prototype.
That's amazing.
It is. That is the prototype. Now, it would go on to be refined by the original designer, whose name I actually do want to mention. His name was Dong Reifeng. Dong Reifeng, thank you, sir, for your incredible contributions to the history of automobiles with this beautiful vehicle. It would go on to be refined and eventually become
the Wuling Mini EV.
In fact, actually, because every time I do a video, the Wuling Mini EV has to come up.
Oh, cool.
This is, we'll get to that, but this is kind of the predecessor in terms of people's car to the Wuling Mini EV. But eventually, it would become the Handsome.
Oh my word.
The Handsome. This wonderful two-door, incredibly cheap. At the time, it was about $3,450 US, about 30,000 RMB. Underneath the hood, or actually because it was a rear-mounted engine. It was a front-mounted engine, front-wheel drive. Underneath the hood was a two-cylinder, air-cooled, 250 cc's of raw power from the Cycler SKL 160 Ni Handsome. Because the Chinese name was Haishen, which translates to Poseidon, but they thought, no.
We don't want to call it Poseidon.
But they wanted to call it Handsome?
I don't know what's worse.
Well, they chose Handsome, and it is truly an amazing vehicle. And one of the reasons that I want to drive it is because it is indeed, I think, the historical predecessor to the Mini EV.
Have they actually? How many have they made?
Well, that's debatable. Apparently, the author of this article, this is from ChinaCarHistory.com.
Oh, I get all of my info from there as well.
A wonderful website that we will very much support. And the writer of the article, he said that he had actually tried to find them in the 90s, or 97, and he went to the hotel where the address was, and he was told that that company had disappeared long ago, had left the hotel long ago, which means that between 95 or 4, when they were creating they were coming out with production versions, I think they came out with 3 of them, something happened, it didn't make it, and that, I think, is a true travesty.
That is.
True travesty that we do not get the Handsome. That the roads are not full of vintage Handsomes. I
reckon they're in the hands of collectors.
I hope so.
They've got like Ferrari, they've got Lamborghinis, and they've got a Handsome.
Everyone should.
Yeah.
If you are indeed one of those people, if you do have access to a Handsome, you must reach out. info@wheelsboy.cn. Please reach out and let me know. But I'll give you a couple other things just to let you know how big this thing is. 2.5 meters in length.
Right.
2.5 meters. So very small. For our American friends, that's less than 10 feet or like around 10 feet long, which is nothing. It's absolutely tiny. So that is my choice. I will not dwell on it too long, but I love it. And one day I dream of getting behind the wheel of the beautiful, beautiful Handsome. Now, Elliot, you've told me that you have...
I have 8, but I don't know how...
Oh, for Christ. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful.
Now, I've got things from the past. I've got things from the recent past.
Let's go oldest to newest.
All right, let's go oldest to newest. So my first one is the BJ40 Jeep. Is it the BJ40? No, BJ212. Sorry.
BJ212, yeah.
Wrong Jeep. That's the...
You think the FJ40?
Yeah, I get all my Jeeps mixed up. That's the military Jeep.
Yes.
Based on the Russian Jeep, I think.
The
Volga?
Gaz? The Gaz?
The Gaz. From
Yeah.
about the 1950s. And they're still making it to date in China. I think it might be the oldest production car.
Yeah.
Or oldest design, which is still in production. They've had to update the engine to make it more legal.
More legal.
More legal.
Somehow. How that thing passes any crash safety standards is beyond me.
It's about 50 or 60,000 RMB new. So you can buy it, go into the
So
showroom
less than
today.
$10,000.
Go in the showroom today, pick one up. It's got a Nissan motor, I think. I haven't done much research, actually. I just know it's a cool car.
We have access to one, so I'm very much hoping that in the future we're going to get Elliot behind the wheel of a BJ212. Be sure to let us know if you would like to see that.
It's like a classic car. It's like the only classic car you can buy in China, which you can drive on the road today. That's why I like it. Because you don't see any classic cars on the road here, right?
This is true. This is true. We have the Shanghai Automotive Museum, which is a wonderful mecca.
Which is awesome.
Which is awesome.
You can't drive anything on the road. So
No.
This is like the one classic car you can drive. I'm sure it drives terribly.
Oh yeah.
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 I've got no shadow of a doubt.
No, I mean it'll drive like a car that was started being built in the 50s.
Yeah, of course.
Which I drove the VW, the T2, the Volkswagen Combi.
I think it's worse than that.
Yeah. Well, if ever there was a car that you managed, I think I managed to find a car that's less safe than your 212 though.
Oh really?
Well, because it's a
Handsome?
it's a cab for well, the Handsome for sure. The Handsome is less safe, but you die happy because you're behind the wheel of a Handsome. You die handsome. Oh, that's the tagline. Why weren't we working for FAW in 1994? Because if we were, the Handsome would have been a huge success.
I would have been 9 years old.
Well,
actually, it probably would have done some favors. Actually,
I would have been 3. Oh no.
Make it faster.
Well, so that I may have found the one car less safe than your 212, because the T2 is cab forward. So there's nothing between you and death.
Yeah.
You and death. At least there's an engine and stuff between you and death with the 212. But so that's it. You got too many cars. What's the next one?
Right, that's a good one. So we go to the next one. Now, this is a car I've looked at buying.
This is not going to be good. I know what Elliot likes to buy. His daily is good, but the things he's told me he's tempted. You know for a fact you almost bought a Maserati bi-turbo.
I've got weird tastes.
You're a lunatic.
I'm craving for just weird cars, and this really is weird. It's by a company you're very familiar with, one of the biggest companies in China now, and I think it might beat your handsome name. I think you know what it is.
It's not the Beauty Leopard, is it?
Oh, it's the Beauty Leopard.
Oh my God. The Geely Beauty Leopard.
The Geely Beauty Leopard. What a name, what a car.
A vehicle that I know some people at Geely would love us to forget existed.
Oh, yeah.
But we never will because they named it the Beauty Leopard.
You can pick them up now for about £500. Or about 5,000 RMB.
Can you drive it though?
Yeah. You get some plate from somewhere, you can drive it. It'll probably break down within about 10 minutes. But do you
Describe the Beauty Leopard. Describe the Beauty Leopard.
Think of a Toyota Supra.
Yes. I like that.
Very good, right?
Right.
Then make it 90% worse.
Okay. And you're sure that's not the modern Toyota Supra? Ooh, shots fired. Hot takes. Hot takes here.
The classic Fast and Furious Supra.
Yes.
I don't know how to. You just have to look at the picture. There's been a few models. It's been updated. It's got ones with funny noses and weird headlights.
Does it have the weird like Hyundai Tiburon or Hyundai Coupe weird bug eye lights at some point? I think I have.
And the Lexus backlights. I think it's got those as well with the that Lexus backlight.
Like the smoked kind of clear.
Yeah, the clear one and.
They're all Tesla lights.
And I think it's got a V. You don't call it V4, but a 4-cylinder engine.
Inline 4 probably.
Yeah, manual.
Oh, all right, sold.
Front-wheel drive.
All right. Well.
And only yours for 5,000 RMB.
5,000 RMB. So again, well under like $800, $750.
And you own a Beauty Leopard.
You do. I suppose it would be worth it just to park it on the street and talk about it.
I own a Beauty Leopard. I mean, forget your fancy cars. Forget your Ferraris.
This is again, we're getting a glimpse at Elliot's dream garage. and mine. Mine is Ferrari, Lamborghini, followed by Handsome, and his is Maserati bi-turbo. I know from history. I'll give you a Lamborghini and then a Beauty Leopard. So, all right, enough about the Beauty Leopard.
I'm going to rattle through a few others now because we don't get bogged down in my weird car history. Oh, sorry, weird car taste, not history. I haven't actually owned any of these.
This is your weird car future. If we're being honest, this is your weird car future.
Definitely.
The second you can afford these, you're going to buy them.
Definitely. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with the car company in the UK called Austin.
Yeah, of course, Austin Healey.
Okay, yeah.
I am an automotive enthusiast.
That's a good point, sorry.
Some people on YouTube don't believe it, but it's true.
Now, Austin of the late 80s and early 90s.
The peak of British motoring, I'm told.
Definitely.
The absolute peak.
Someone bought, I think, the components or the knockdown kit of one of the best cars that Austin had ever made.
The Princess. Tell me it's the Princess.
Not the Princess. That's the second best.
Oh, okay.
The best is the Maestro.
I forgot that.
But it's the Maestro van.
What?
So it's the van version of the Maestro. Someone bought that over here and started selling them here.
As a what?
I think it's Yamaha, but I can't remember because I didn't do much research. But it's on that car.
You chose quantity over quality for Elliot. That's fine.
It's on the car China News History website.
Yes.
The link's below.
Yes. We will, in fact, if we have links, we will be sure to put those in the description of the video so you guys can go check it out.
It wasn't a good car in the UK. But someone thought, we're going to bring that to China. We're going to sell it here. They think they sold about 130. I'm desperate. 1, to find one. 2, to buy one.
They sold
I think they sold less than 1,000. It was a complete disaster. I wonder why.
I gotta wonder why too.
Yeah. Strange.
I mean, I think that says a little bit something about British cars. All right, next car.
Zhonghua. Do you know Zhonghua?
Zhonghua. Our cameraman is laughing. Our cameraman just heard you say that name and he's laughing.
It's the Zhonghua wagon. Now, this was designed...
I love wagons.
I love wagons as well. This was designed by Pininfarina.
Ooh, yeah.
It came out just a few years ago. You can pick them up now for about 20,000 RMB. It looks amazing. Honestly, it's really, really cool. Pininfarina designed. You can get manual. Can't remember the engine. It just looks awesome.
Okay.
And you don't see many wagons here, right, in China?
You don't. I mean, the wagons. It's funny. You know what you do see? I mean, we live in Shanghai. You know what you see the most? It's like the high-end wagons, the Audis,
the BMWs,
and the BMWs, and there's like there's a weird, beloved to me community of weirdos that love to buy like Audi RS6 wagons and mod them and stuff.
They're awesome.
And those are the kings of the road in my opinion.
So this, you would have seen it on screen, is awesome.
Oh God.
So that's another one in my garage. Another one would be the Nevs Saab. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
So, do you want me? Do you want me?
Be my guest.
New Energy Vehicle, I guess, is what the NEV stands for.
Yeah.
So New Energy Vehicle was this company that basically they bought the rights to. You guys will remember this from maybe a decade ago. When Saab went out of business, when General Motors sold them,
correct,
the rights to Saab were bought up by a Chinese company here, and I want to remember the Chinese. I want to remember the Chinese name, but we'll find that. But they decided, hey, we're gonna make Saab into an electric brand. This was
awesome.
This is the early end. This is like the early part of the Chinese government's push for electric vehicles. So there's a lot of money being thrown around for that, which is good for that. And I know I've seen one.
What?
I know where they are because one of the common Wheelsboy shooting locations happens to be right next to the office for the company that bought Saab. So I have, with my own 2 eyes, seen a Saab electric, a Saab NEV.
Electric Saab, just imagine it.
Guess what it looks like?
Saab.
A Saab. It looks a lot like a Saab, but more electric looking. I mean, they changed a little bit of it. 2
good things. It's electric, it's a Saab.
True.
I want one. But I've never, ever seen one on the road.
No, you won't. Well, you will never, sadly. I think
they sold a few.
Duh?
I don't know. Maybe we'll have to find out.
Well, if only Elliot would have done more research. But that's late. We'll leave that for you guys. Let us know in the comments below if they actually sold any of these and whether we can get one. Elliot, we're running short on time here, but why don't you run through your last couple?
Right. I'm just going to rattle through the names. So there's a Y30 estate. It's a wagon, but it's from the late 80s, early 90s in Shanghai. It looks like one of your big American wagons from the 70s or 80s. It's awesome.
Like a Lincoln? Oh, no, sorry, like a Ford Squire kind of big wagon?
I think square, big, lots of glass. It looks awesome. It's sold here, made here, sold here.
Sold. I want one.
It's called a Y30. You can pick them up. They're about 50,000 to 100,000 RMB because they're like a classic car for the road.
That's an incredible retention of value for an old car like that.
Awesome.
What's
next one is Celine. You know, Celine came to China.
Okay, so you're talking about one of the Celine little city cars?
Both. Obviously, I want to drive both.
And then the Celine sports car, which was the S. Oh God, I'm showing my butt here. Well,
that one. Yeah.
The reality is nobody's ever going to buy one. So.
Well, no, because they've gone out of business.
Yes, a tragic story.
Two more. Hongqi, the classic Hongqi, the 770 from the 60s and 70s. Desperate to drive one of those.
I sat in one at the Shanghai Automotive Museum. Nobody told me I could, but nobody told me I couldn't. So I just did.
You're in trouble.
Yeah.
And the very last one is by the Beijing Jeep company. They do something called the Warrior. It's the one with the really angular headlights. It looks like a military vehicle. You can drive on the street.
The one that like replaced the BJ212 for the Chinese military.
Awesome.
And I was just looking at that.
About 70,000 RMB.
Yes.
You can tell I've been like on the Chinese Auto Trader just looking at all the prices.
I know you're on there constantly.
That's my list.
That's your list. Well, that's a pretty good list.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. All right.
It's going to expand.
I'm sure. Constantly growing.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Wheelsboy, well, we don't really have a name yet for it, chat show. Wheelsboy Wheels Down. That's what I want to call it. But thanks to Elliot, our guest, for joining us.
Wheelsboy Waffle.
No, not rejected. Okay. Thank you. Well, not so much. Now I've decided not to thank Elliot for joining us, but thank you for joining us. Thank you very much. If you have something you'd like to see us talk about, some topic about the Chinese car market, please be sure to comment below. Also, like, subscribe, and hit the bell.